It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hello to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this invigorating, robust lifestyle show. I would like to thank each one of our listeners that have tuned in live today and the ones that will be listening to the recording on the podcast. I am so very grateful for each and every one of you. And you are all in for a very special show today, as I have with me a mother-daughter team, Peggy and Kate Nelligan. They have shared their story in our upcoming Divas That Care, Our Mothers, Our Daughters book to be released very soon. So I am going to let Peggy and Kate each introduce themselves to our listeners today.
Kate, and I'm an equine partnered life and business coach, animal communicator and healer, and author and speaker, and I'm excited to be here with my mom as well.
Hi, and I'm Peggy. I'm really happy to be here and talk about this with you and Kate, since we have shared many conversations between us on our thoughts and philosophies in life. But I'm the former director of the Metaphysical Center in New Jersey and currently on their advisory board. I live half the year in Florida and half in New Jersey, and get to Colorado whenever I can to see Kate.
Oh, how beautiful. You already have a beautiful story, what each one of you are already doing in your lives. I love it. That is beautiful. Share. What inspired you to write your story with your daughter, Kate, and put it into Our Mothers, Our Daughters book? What was the inspiration that had you do this?
Well, it was very interesting because when Kate first mentioned this and we heard the book was being published, I thought, what did I really have to say? There wasn't much. But as I started to write the memoir, it was very clear that what I went through, I think, is very, very typical for what so many women go through when they get to be, 30s and 40s, questioning what's going on in their life. So basically, what happened at that point in my life, I started to go through menopause. And at the same time, we had a move taking place in our household with my husband's job. Kate was going into her prepubescent years, and here is me, dealing with all the effects of menopause. So it was a time for me to say, there are many other women who are going through this, and they don't know why it is that they're behaving the way they are, acting out. And I thought maybe our story would help somebody as they go through this.
Oh my, what a beautiful inspiration that you have to write your story to help make the world a better place and to share with other women that they're not by themselves going through something like this. Oh, that was a beautiful inspiration. And Kate, what inspired you to team with your mother and write your story in the book?
Yeah, I think for me, it's that I help so many women as a coach that have what I now know to be called the mother wound. And they are going through challenges either being a mother, being a single mother. I work sometimes with women who've been divorced, or they've had issues with their mother when they were growing up. And I know that, when I was younger, I had so many issues with my mom. We fought a lot, and there was a period where just I had intense hatred towards her. And then you're best friends today. And so it's just been such a huge transformation. And I realized if we could do that, others can do that. And I sometimes will tell, I work with kids sometimes too, or teens that have issues with their moms. And I'm like, you guys, it's not always going to be like this. You got to trust. And the fact that you're even here working with the horses in a coaching or therapy environment means that your mom cares and that it can change and it can get better. I need you to trust and believe that. And so I just wanted to document our story about our transformation, also, as an inspiration and way to let people know, like, it doesn't always have to be a bad relationship. Things can really change.
Oh, how beautiful. That is. What an inspiration, with you being an equine partner coach and being able to share your story, even with your clients like that, and now in the book, of how, yes, there are many challenges in a mother-daughter relationship, and how now you two are best friends, as you said. And just to plug, too, you two have a podcast on Divas That Care. It's a beautiful podcast and shows the friendship and love between a mother and daughter team. So that is just beautiful. And then, as like you said, that the challenges, it will get better. There's just some rough roads sometimes that we have to go over. Oh, that is a beautiful inspiration. I love that, Kate. Well, and then also, I would like to, if each one of you, and we can start with Peggy, if you would give a golden nugget from your story that is going to catch the attention of our listeners and say, oh my, I have to get my hands on that book. I have to hear the rest of this story. They have excited me into reading Our Mothers, Our Daughters book. So what would be a golden nugget you would share today with our listeners, Peggy?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think one of the things that I learned about myself as a woman is that I did not know that my daughter was a separate person. I mean, that sounds ridiculous because of course we know that they are, but it was a big eye-opener for me to get to the point of really acknowledging that this little being that I was taking care of was her own person and had her own soul's journey to be on. And so when I was able to discover, and it was quite a ways down the road that I got into the metaphysical principles and understood and read more about indigo children and realized what their qualities were. And here I was asking her preschool teacher, why is she so bossy? And come to find out, Katie ends up having all of the qualities of indigo children, but I didn't know it at the time. And so it was fascinating then to realize what I was able to see in her as unique and special in her own right. She was not just challenging me for the sake of arguing with me. And I think maybe a lot of mothers sometimes think that it's a deliberate challenge to them, to their authority or whatever. And it isn't. It's really just their unique soul's journey that they're on.
Oh my, what a great golden nugget, because, I mean, that's got to spark so much interest, because as being a mother myself, yes, they each one have something unique and special, and then to look at it that way rather than it being a challenge that is, with some mothers, it's like, it's just driving me crazy. We have got to figure this out. And when they can read your story and you share about that, oh, that was a fantastic golden nugget. I'm wanting to read your story. That was great. I loved it.
Good.
And Kate, what would be the golden nugget that you would like to share from your story?
I think it's to believe and trust and have hope that we each change as individuals. We're evolving, and that relationships change. So the quality to trust that and to stay patient is really important. And I share in the book that, I used to be an atheist, and then I became very spiritual, and then I also, I've shared in other books I've written like that I was very ego-driven, and now I'm very soul-driven. And, our relationship, my relationship with my mom was, like, really challenging at one point or for a while, and it was because we were both in these hormonal imbalanced places and didn't understand each other. And so, it took a lot of time. We both did a lot of deep spiritual and personal development work over years. And now, like, if we have challenges now, we know how to navigate them really well. And hence also wanting to do the Metaphysical Mastery podcast, because we wanted to show people, like, we did have different perspectives still sometimes, and we're very different people, but we can still meet in the middle and learn from each other and understand each other. So it's really just that, remember that things change. This too shall pass. Difficult relationships can become incredible relationships. And, I'll never forget, recently I was sitting in this mini and a mom and daughter client in Los Angeles, because I go there for work sometimes to see clients, and literally the horse said, I don't understand what the problem is. They both care about each other a lot. And I just said that to the mom and daughter. I said, remember, the two of you deeply love each other. And if you start and end your days with that, you're okay. You can have your fights and your challenges. So I actually asked them to do like a gratitude practice with each other every night, because that's really what it comes down to, is like there's still so much love. We just have to go back to that, even if we are in hormones or in misunderstandings and miscommunications. There's still love there.
Oh, yes. Oh, that was great. I'm really even more excited now to read your two story, because that is so to believe and trust. And there's changes and how to navigate the challenges, and to go back to gratitude, because that is just one thing I always talk about. Gratitude changes your attitude, and how important that is. Oh, both of you just really gave some great golden nuggets, some great inspirations for all of our listeners to want to get Our Mothers, Our Daughters book. It will definitely excite them. I just want to thank you both for being on my show and sharing your information today about your story in the book, and for all you do for your podcast on Divas That Care. And just really want to commend both of you. You're two very beautiful diva women.
Thank
you so much. Yeah.
You are so welcome. Very welcome. And I just want to tell our listeners that you can go on to Amazon or Kobo, and you can get the Kindle version, get it ordered for Our Mothers, Our Daughters book. And the launch is coming up here in May, where you'll be able to get the paperback form. So just stay tuned for more information and more interviews coming through Divas That Care Network about Our Mothers, Our Daughters book, and what a perfect time to be launching it, as we are coming up on Mother's Day here the first part of May. So just keep looking for this great book that's coming out. You just heard from two of our fabulous authors that are in the book, and what an inspiration they are. And I would also like to thank all of our listeners for listening to this amazing show with Peggy and Kate Nelligan today. Share this show with your family and friends, and let them know about Our Mothers, Our Daughters book that is soon to be released by Divas That Care. And check out all the other hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. Remember, have a magical day, be kind to all, and you can navigate the challenges, be it in your relationship or in life. Just take your time, and you will work through it all. So have a very magical day, be kind to all, and give your animals a great big hug, and share your love with them until we connect again on Robust Lifestyles. Stay strong and healthy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.